The night was as black as ink, and the only source of illumination was the feeble glow of my car's headlights slicing through the darkness. I tightened my grip on the steering wheel, feeling a bead of sweat trickle down my temple. I had always been uneasy about driving at night, but tonight, that unease had blossomed into full-fledged dread. I was on a desolate stretch of road that seemed to wind endlessly through a dense forest. The towering trees loomed on either side of me, their branches clawing at the sky like skeletal fingers. An eerie silence had settled over the landscape, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl or the rustling of leaves in the wind. My heart quickened with every passing mile, my imagination conjuring up all sorts of sinister scenarios. I tried to shake off the feeling, chiding myself for succumbing to baseless fears. But as the minutes dragged on, a deep-seated unease continued to gnaw at me. A sudden movement in the corner of my eye made me jump. I glanced to the side, heart pounding, but saw nothing. Just the impenetrable wall of trees, their shadows dancing in the periphery of my vision. I forced myself to take a deep breath, chiding my own jumpy nerves. The road ahead seemed to stretch out like an endless tunnel, the darkness seeming to press in from all sides. It was as if the night itself held a malevolent consciousness, watching, waiting. I shook my head, trying to dispel the irrational thoughts that were taking root in my mind. And then, just as abruptly as before, I saw it again. A fleeting glimpse of movement, a shadow darting across the road. This time I was certain. My foot instinctively slammed on the brakes, the tires screeching against the pavement. The car came to a juddering halt, and I sat there, heart racing, peering into the inky abyss. A sense of dread washed over me, a feeling that I was not alone on this desolate road. I scanned the area, my eyes straining to pierce the darkness. And that's when I saw her, an apparition standing at the edge of the road. She was a young woman, her pallid face framed by long, tangled hair. Her eyes were empty voids, devoid of life, yet they seemed to bore into my very soul. I felt a chill crawl down my spine, the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. The woman just stood there, her gaze locked onto me, her lips moving as if whispering words that I couldn't hear. My heart raced as I fumbled for my phone, my fingers trembling as I dialed 911. But when I looked up again, the woman was gone, swallowed by the darkness. My breath caught in my throat, and I glanced around frantically, my mind a maelstrom of fear and confusion. 911, what's your emergency? A voice crackled through the speaker. I just saw a woman on the road, I stammered, my voice quivering. She appeared out of nowhere, and now she's gone. I don't know what's happening. The dispatcher assured me that help was on the way, but even as I hung up, a gnawing sense of unease lingered. I knew I couldn't just sit there in the middle of the road, so I cautiously pressed the gas pedal, the car inching forward. Every shadow, every rustling leaf seemed to be watching me, taunting me. The minutes stretched on, each second feeling like an eternity as I navigated the winding road. And then, up ahead I saw it. A faint glow of light. Relief washed over me as I realized it was a gas station. I pulled into the lot, my heart still racing, and parked the car. I stumbled out of the vehicle, my legs shaky as I made my way toward the entrance. The fluorescent lights of the gas station buzzed overhead, casting a harsh, sterile glow. As I stepped inside, a bell jingled above the door, announcing my arrival. The cashier behind the counter glanced up, offering a polite smile. "Late-night traveler, huh?" she remarked, her tone casual. I nodded, trying to steady my trembling hands. "Yeah, just needed a break. It's been a long drive." She chuckled, seemingly oblivious to the tension that coiled within me. "Well, help yourself to some coffee. It's fresh, and it might give you the pick-me-up you need." I managed a weak smile, grateful for the distraction. As I poured a cup of steaming coffee, I tried to shake off the lingering sense of dread that had followed me from the road. But even in the safety of the gas station, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me, lurking just beyond the periphery of my vision. I took a sip of the coffee, the warmth spreading through my body. The caffeine seemed to jolt my senses, and I felt a surge of determination. I was going to make it through this night. I was going to leave this unsettling road behind and reach my destination, whatever it took. As I turned to leave, I caught a glimpse of the cashier's reflection in the glass door. Her eyes met mine, and for a brief moment I saw a flicker of something in her gaze, a knowing, a recognition. But then it was gone, replaced by the same friendly smile. I stepped back out into the night, the cool air a welcome respite from the oppressive atmosphere of the forest. The road still stretched ahead, but this time I faced it with a newfound resolve. Whatever had haunted me on that drive, I was determined to leave it behind. As I drove away from the gas station, the glow of its lights fading in the rearview mirror, I couldn't help but cast a wary glance at the forest that bordered the road. The darkness seemed to shift and sway, as if concealing secrets that were better left untouched. I turned up the radio, the familiar tunes providing a sense of comfort as I navigated the winding road. And though the shadows still danced at the edge of my vision, I refused to let them consume me. With each passing mile, I left behind the fear and uncertainty of that night, embracing the promise of a new dawn on the horizon. So to all my viewers out there, if you found yourself drawn into this tale of terror, if the suspense kept you on the edge of your seat, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Your support fuels my creativity and helps me bring more spine-tingling stories to life. And remember, sometimes the scariest roads are the ones that lead us into the heart of the unknown. Stay curious, stay brave, and until our next harrowing journey, keep your headlights shining bright in the darkness.